Remove the spring from the solenoid and fix it again with little bit of grease. Fill the shock absorber with oil from the top. Within, it starts to drop out from the adjusting system. As you can see, the air trapped into the shock absorber and the adjusting system is escaping. In order to improve the bleeding, make some pressure. Install the solenoid, avoiding the air remains trapped between the solenoid and the oil. Install the screw in the thread ring, leaving the solenoid into the original position. Add the oil from the top. If you weld the manifold into the shock absorber, you must reduce the outer diameter of the spring guide to 39 mm, otherwise it will not pass through the manifold. If you did the circlip groove directly on the body of the shock absorber, this operation is not needed. The original Teflon band, even if new, is one of the main causes of noise. For this reason, it must be always replaced with one of the following ones. If needed, replace also the spring. Wrap in the new Teflon band and install it on the piston using a little bit of grease as would be glue. Move the rod up and down, dropping out the air. In order to be sure that the piston has been properly bleed, beat the rod with a plastic hammer. Install the extension on the rod to protect the oil seal and the guide. Fit the rebound stop. Fit the guide, maybe with a little bit of grease. Add more oil within the border of the shock absorber in order to be sure that any air remains trapped in. Remove the gas separator positioner in order to allow it to move. Push the guide in. It will need a lot of force, don't worry. Fit the circlip in and double check that it is in the right position. Screw the silicone valve in. Pressurize the shock absorber at 22 or 25 bars. Place the thread ring on the guide, screw it in, and block it. Let we compare an original shock absorber made by B.Stain for Mercedes. The model, as we said, is a B.Stain ADS for the Mercedes ML164 front with a not original copy. This is a fake copy made abroad. We will see the differences between the two shock absorbers and especially the difference in the quality and the reason why original manufacturer is much more better. So first of all, we remove the guide, the rod with the piston and the spring rebound. As you can see, the piston is a very nice linear piston, 36 millimeters, with a very big rebound spring that will stabilize the car for sure. While if we do the same operation on the low quality copy, we find that the rebound spring is much more smaller, as well as the piston that is only 27 millimeters. As you can understand, this small spring cannot stabilize a so high and heavy shock car like an ML. It is more similar to the spring of a pen than to the spring of a Mercedes. So you can understand that working with this kind of shock absorber situation is not the same. Piston is much more smaller. It is impossible with a so small piston to make the same efforts we can do with the 36 millimeters one. Moreover, as we can see on the B.Stain, there are two tubes that are welded, and the space between is used to move the oil from the body to the adjusting system, and then from the adjusting system to the area close to the separator. So it is a monotube shock absorber. If we touch the other shock absorber, we see that there is any separator inside, and there is a standard dual tube. So we have a twin tube shock absorber working at low pressure with a very small piston. So has any relationship with the original shock absorber. Now remember what we said, that on B.Stain ADS there is an adjusting system with two pistons, and the oil is moving from the body to the adjusting system and then to the body again, and vice versa. So the oil is flowing from the body to the adjusting system through two holes. If we cut this tape, we discover that in this copy there is the original adjusting system welded on a body with any hole. It means that this copy, this low quality copy, has any hole in order to move the oil from the shock absorber to the adjusting system. So the adjusting system, even if original, is not working at all. Is only black minding the software of your car in order the lights remain turned off. But in case you break because in emergency, the shock absorber doesn't change its setting. You remain with a car without the right stability and the right security. If you decide to remanufacture the original shock absorber, you have to explain this big difference to your customer. That is not the same thing that to buy a new product but with a very, very low quality that cannot be compared with the original, than to buy the original or to buy the used original properly remanufactured with Emetec parts and procedures.